another exciting episode of Youth in Agriculture. My name is Marion Munyaunganga, and today I'm here in Kitengela talking about agri-technology. Yes, as you can see, there are so many machines here, and they're categorized into two types. The first one is an incubator, and the second one is an hatchery. And I think I've just spilled out the beans of what we are discussing today. And yes, you have it right. We will be talking about incubation. We will be talking about hatchery. Why should you prefer putting your eggs inside a machine as compared to putting them inside a chicken coop so that your chicken brooder can come and sit on them and then they crack and then you get losses? No, we do not want that. That's why Calvin Round is here with us, and he is, by the way, having a background in architecture, and he'll be telling us why he is dealing with agri-technology these days.
Okay, thank you so much. Welcome, please.
This room is cold and it's white.
Yes.
Of what importance is it?
This is called hatchery room, where we do incubate our eggs, then hatch the chicks. Yes.
Before we talk about a lot, because I know this topic is quite heavy, what is the importance of a farmer bringing their eggs, their fertilized eggs, to a place like this, other than taking them to a brooder?
Okay, thank you so much. Now, these are machines, and machines can take different capacity compared to a chicken. Most of chicken do take up to around 14 eggs, but most of them are 8 or 10. So if you bring them to machine, if you have a lot of eggs and bring them to machine, like we have different capacity, we have 1,000, we have 4,000, we have 6,000. So machines will help you to get more chicks at once compared to chicken.
How does the possibility rate look like when it comes to the chicken themselves warming up the fertilized eggs and bringing the fertilized eggs to an incubator and an hatchery?
Now, hatch rate differ both on chicken and also hatcher. It depends with the type of the eggs that you have and the quality of the eggs that you have. Yeah. For example, even if you give a chicken and fertilize eggs, but the condition of the egg is not good. In hatchery, we have so many factors like eggshell. We factor the eggshell, the size, the shape of the eggs, like elongated. So if you give even the chicken, definitely the hatch rate will be low. And the same eggs, if you bring to the machine, the hatch rate will be low. That's why there is something called egg selection. If you select the egg, you measure even the weight, the size, and also the shape, and also the duration. Because if the duration exceed, then you realize that hatch rate will go down. So there are quite a lot of factors that you need to consider. Apart from that, also the machine setting. We have different types of the machines. We also have the quality of the machine. If you get a good machine and good eggs, definitely the hatch rate will be even up to 96%. We have seen many people achieving 97%. I've had somebody who has achieved 98%. Yeah. But mostly it ranges between 80, 85. Yes.
And what happens to a chicken that they do not get to fertilize or hatch all the eggs? What really distracts them?
So we have something called humidity and temperature. The position of heater. Inside the incubator we have heater, and also we have water inside. You realize even some machines, the heaters are not well positioned, so that you realize that some are getting sufficient temperature, others are not. So those are the main causes of other eggs failing not to hatch.
Okay.
Yes.
In a situation definition of a chicken, we have a chicken here, the work is to sit on the eggs. But at times you get that even close to 50% they are not yet hatched. Why? What could be the reason?
The potential reason is, you see, when the chicken is brooding, you really need to give that chicken food. A failure to give that chicken food, she will go outside and spend a lot of time looking for feed. And hence, you see, the eggs need temperature for them to, for that process to take place. So if they don't get consistent temperature, the eggs definitely will get spoiled. So the first consideration, if you are using chicken, then make sure that you give the chicken enough feed. In fact, the feed should just be where at the brooder, yes. Food, feeds and water.
Feeds and water.
Exactly. But not only that, we have talked about the egg shell, also the fertilized eggs, and also the duration. If you give a chicken eggs that has gone up to 14 days, then it might not hatch. Yes.
Now let's get through the process of what happens here. The first one you mentioned is egg selection. What is that, and what do you look for in that egg?
Not really, it's not egg selection. Actually, archery starts from the parent stock, the breed, and the parent stock, actually. So, first of all, I've seen many people just go and pick eggs. They don't know which kind of breed, which kind of parent stock. Is it F1, is it F2, is it F3? So the first thing, the initial stage, is to know where you get eggs. Like in our case, initially I used to source eggs, but I realized that they just give me any eggs. So it is not the right breed, and sometimes they give you eggs which has a lot of inbreeding. The chicks, the products will not be good. So the first thing is to know where you get your eggs. Are they the correct breed? Are they the correct parent stock? Then after bringing them, also you check the duration. Is it above 10 days? The best one should be from day 1 to day 7. Above that days, you realize production will reduce. After bringing them, you do something called selection. You get the correct size, the correct shape. We have elongated eggs whereby you cannot know where the embryo is. So if you put them on the setters, you might put it opposite, upside down. Hence, hatching will be a little bit hard. From there is when now you bring them to machine.
Nikulima, let me hold you there.
Yes.
I'm still on the breed. What happens, or am I allowed to put, for example, the F1, F2 together?
Yeah, it's not appropriate. You should just put F1. You mark them, you know this is F1. Then you mark the other batch F2. This one will help you to eliminate the aspect of inbreeding. Yeah. So like F2, those are second generation. You realize there is inbreeding already. So what you need to do when the chicks come out, you need to isolate or remove cocks. After removing cocks, you introduce another cocks which are not of the same family.
What are cocks?
Cocks are njogo.
Then
njogo, which are used for mating. So F2, you realize that already there is inbreeding. So the good thing you need to do is to remove the cocks, then introduce another cocks. If you leave them, then breeding will continue, but you realize that the products of those chicks will be very, very bad, very, very poor in terms of egg production. Even the chicks, you'll realize that they are stunted, they don't grow. You feed them, but they don't grow. So that is number one risk of inbreeding.
Is there any other risk of inbreeding?
Egg production. The chicks will not produce eggs as required. Secondly, this inbreeding, the diseases will attack them. so they are not resistant to diseases. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, we are just about to go on a short commercial break. Remember, we are here in Kitengela talking about hatchery, talking about incubation, because we want you to attain close to 100% hatchery rate, if at all that is something that does exist. And Calvin Brown has told us something that it is very important. Do not mix generations.
Yes.
For example, the parent generation, eggs that come from the first generation should not be mixed together with the eggs that come from the second generation.
Exactly.
Because you're going to do something called stunted growth,
poor production.
Poor production. The eggs will look not even hatch, honestly speaking. So keep it in agriculture. We'll be right back with more information.
Subscription today. Watch the big match, catch up on the news, enjoy our new drama series Pink Ladies, and the latest movies. Sing along to your favorite tunes to keep the good times rolling. See more, be more, do more. Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Mwanaume umejaa kwa sufuria, umepanua miguu vizuri, atumeka sufuria katikati, unapakua michele ukikula ukiweka kwa ona tena tutafanya mpaka unaonja.
Ashley, mama yako ameumia.
Mom, hello? Mama unanisikia?
Huyo mama tumempiga na tukamwambia atoke kwa hiyo shamba.
Hello. What? It's a wrong number.
My fool.
Mbe watoto wanakuanga na stress.
Niangalie mimi na usirikina abadan katana.
Nafikiria mimi nimetoka Kisii juzi. Hizi vitu ninachua. Hapa kuna vitu zenye umepanda, kuna matawa zenye umepanda. Wacha kuwekelea kitambaa.
Kwa hii, tunataka nipige picha nitaka kuweka kwenye mtandao.
Heli msaba yangu ya mbolea ndio wewe umekuja nayo kanunua hizi vitu zako. Zile material ya cotton hizi. Cotton hizi moja za madirisha hizi hata naonanga kwa matajiri ndio wameweka kwa milango. On kitu hata jamalisi. Ona bado ni kiraka.
Hisia.
Nakuja, baby nakuja. I love me, baby nakuja.
When niambie, a body size, it's not your time. You're with us. When niambie, a body size, it's not your time.
Anapiga pick ndani ya nyumba na bado ananimaliza tukisikiza reggae kitubeba tukiwa matireje o dance kwa tune.
DJ Tatua.
Vibes in the typical, original, tukifanya tu simple.
Mina stories za mapenzi, abadan katan.
How are you, my friend?
Tatua.
How do you do, my friend?
Agriculture. My name is and today we are continuing with this interesting conversation about hatchery, about egg incubation here in Kitengela together with Mkulima Calvin Brown, who by the way has studied architecture but amejipata kwa hii space ya agri-technology. Before the break, he has mentioned why you need to separate generations when it comes to egg selection, and right now he will be telling us how these machines work, and what to look for as you egg select. Calvin Brown, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much.
We are very much happy to have you again. So you mentioned something about egg selection, looking for cracks. Is there a special way you do it? Because I've seen most of the farmers, they use a torch. They put an egg maybe on top of a torch and then they light the torch and see if there are any cracks to it. How do you go about it?
Okay, so we also have our formula, how we select the eggs.
Yeah.
But usually the torch are used for knowing if the eggs is fertilized. Actually, when you have already put them in the machine, after 10 days, you use the eggs to see if really the eggs were fertilized and if the chicks are forming. Yes, but basically how we select our eggs, we just do it manually. We are able to detect the eggs which are not in good shape, the smaller one, the bigger one, and also those ones which are not in good shape.
And my cameraman has mentioned something, Stanley Michi, he has mentioned something about placing of eggs on the tray. What position should you place them?
Now, as you put, the best position is that the long or the tip.
Yeah.
The egg is somehow oval, but now the sharp pointed is where you put facing down.
Why?
Because you see the embryo is on the other part and the fertilized egg is alive. So we have porous areas where the fertilized eggs do breathe. So if you put it opposite direction, then it will suffocate and that egg eventually will die. The embryo will die. So it's very important you put it facing the sharp end facing down.
Sharp end facing down.
Yes.
Is there any other consideration that a farmer should have?
Actually, that is the main factor.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I don't think there's any. Yes.
Let's move to the next step. Now we have our selected eggs in check. Now what is next?
Yeah. So after that, before you transfer them to the incubator, you must ascertain that the incubator has been running for at least 10 hours. It should be warmed, yeah. And also, you put the right setting. After that, after you have put them into the incubator, make sure you have a standby generator because it should be consistent. It should not lack power until the end of 18 days when you'll be transferring to the Asha. Nevertheless, the first 3 days are very critical. Other days, probably you can have power failure. Even they can go up to 4 hours without power. But the first 3 days are very critical. You should have power continuously. And also the last 3 days when they are in Hacha are very critical. You must have power continuously. Yes.
Kulima, you'll tell us why in a bit, but first you mentioned something of importance, the settings. How should they look like?
Now, we have in incubator and also Archer, we have temperature and humidity. Now, in incubator, the setting of temperature should be 37.8. Okay, it depends also with the other machine, but normally it is 37.8. Then humidity should be 58 to 63. That is for incubation. Now, after 18 days, when you are transferring them to the hatcher, now you increase the humidity. Humidity should be 70 to 75. Then temperature you reduce should be 36.8 or 36.9.
Why are we reducing the temperature at this stage?
Now, during hatchery, and actually the main reason why you should increase the humidity and lower the temperature is that during hatchery, you see now they are peeping, and humidity help the shell to be softer. So when they are peeping, it is easy for them to come out. But you see, if the temperature is high, somehow will damage or will kill the chicks.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why we lower down the temperature and increase the humidity.
I'm impressed of how the temperature inside the incubator is slightly higher than the one of the room temperature,
yes,
or even the body temperature, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so when I talk about tanning, the tanning process, how does it take place and what does it mean?
Oh yes, so naturally even if you compare the hen, actually the making of incubator was derived from the hen, because hen do turn the eggs frequently, and also the machine has been made that way, such that after a period of time, like in our case, after every 1 hour, it turns. That is incubator, but hatcher doesn't turn. It should just be left that way. So the main reason of turning of the eggs is not to allow the embryo to stick on the shell. So that's the main reason. So when it turns, it's not sticking.
No, it's like some sort of vibration
Exactly.
that detaches the embryo
Yes,
from
yes,
the egg
exactly.
wall.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow. Is it automatic or do you do it manually?
It is automatic. These machines are automatic. After every 1 hour, you see them turning by themselves.
So now, 3 days to the taking them from the incubation to the hatchery, you have to increase the humidity and lower the temperature.
Exactly.
What happens to the hatchery, in the hatchery?
So when you bring them to the hatcher, here we don't need turning because now the chicks are due to hatch. So we just put them there.
Yeah.
The increase of humidity, as I've said, will soften the shell of the egg, and that one will allow them to come out very, very smoothly.
What are the settings in the hatcher?
Humidity is 70 to 75. Temperature you reduce it to 36.8, 36.9. Yes.
Okay, so this helps them to come
out
nicely.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And
so failure to do that, you'll realize that you have mortality, high mortality in hatcher, because they are trying to come out but they are stuck. So you'll realize that most of them are dying when they are stuck because humidity is low. Yes.
Wow. And
but again, you really need to do service to your machines because sometimes you might set the machine at the correct temperature and humidity, but you realize that the internal humidity is less as per what is set there. Yes, so you also need to evaluate. You must have that thermometer, this gadgets to also measure the internal humidity and temperature.
In the incubation, they stay there for 18 days.
18 days.
How about the hatcher?
3 days.
Only 3 days?
Only 3 days.
The chicks are out there?
Yeah, from 19th, they start coming out from 19th, 18th day. On the 21st day, they are done.
Do they wait for each other? Okay. Anyway, when the chicks have come out, do they cry? Okay, I'm assuming because a baby cries.
Yes, yes, yes.
Does this apply to the chicks as well?
Yeah, in fact, they even do cry when they are still inside the egg. You'll hear, even before they hatch, you can still hear them crying. And after, of course, I think it's just natural to any kind of living thing.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm assuming not all shells will fall from them. How do you handle them next?
Some shell will tend to live, but only some few.
Yeah.
You help them. You remove the shell. You help them by removing the shell from them.
Oh, do you wear some sort of?
Yeah, you must have protection. You must have gloves.
Yeah.
And also you disinfect. Yes.
Wow, that has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for giving us all these tips on how to get incubation, how to get hatchery correct. There you have it. I hope you have learned as much as I have. We have been talking about incubation, about hatchery, in order to attain the right hatchery rate. which is around 90%, and this is way better than having your hen sit on those eggs, because you know your hen can feel hungry and leave the eggs there. They get cold, they don't get the warmth that is really needed in hatchery. And one thing that Calvin Brown, who is the farmer of today's episode, has mentioned is that you need to keep checking your machine. First of all, 3 days after you've put them in the incubation, make sure your generator power is on, because it can come through when there is a blackout. And also 3 days to taking them into the hatchery, because this is a very critical stage. They only stay in the hatchery for 3 days, and where they are there, you get to hear them cry like a beautiful bouncing baby. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to be part of this conversation, look at the contacts on the screen, look at our social media handles on the screen, and please feel free to DM us and we'll be there at your farm. Same place, same time, in your farm. See you next time. My name is Marion Munyaunganga.